Dungeons in the Adventure Link don't share many similarities with the original game. Like all the combat in the game, dungeons are side-scrollers instead of the previous top-down perspective. Floors are connected via elevators that move you up and down the palace. There are also, annoyingly, no maps or compasses to be found in any of the palaces. The inability to look at your location increasingly becomes a problem as you get to the later dungeons. The Great Palace has an incredibly antagonistic design. The Fokeroos quickly cover the ground with moving fire, making them hard to get past without taking damage if you're not quick. The Fokas jump, block your attacks, and throw swords, taking away any advantage you had over other enemies. There are also many long routes leading to dead ends designed to drain your resources. In the context of this game, Thunderbird is a decent boss. It requires you to combine multiple lessons you've learned, like dodging arcing attacks and hitting precision attacks against his head. But the combat in this game is bad, so he still kinda sucks. The Ocean Palace introduces fake walls. Of course, if you didn't talk to one villager in a previous town who mentions it, you'd have no reason to try to jump into every wall. In this palace you'll find the flute. The items in this game are more like items you'd find in a point-and-click adventure game than in Zelda. They're mostly only used as keys to open the next region after a dungeon. Guma, the boss of the Ocean Palace, hits hard. He also has a lot of health, making it an annoying fight. Parappa Palace is the first dungeon in the game. We see Iron Knuckles replace the Dark Nuts as the shield enemy in this game. I've never really understood the difference between Iron Knuckles and Dark Nuts in Zelda games. The first ones I ever knew the name of were Ocarina of Time's Iron Knuckles, so I just assumed they were all Iron Knuckles for a long time. Also, with the Wosu in this dungeon being similar to Ocarina's Wolfos, I'm realizing there's a lot more shared DNA between Adventure Link and Ocarina of Time than I thought. The boss, Horsehead, teaches the importance of the jump slash, as his head is his only weak point. The second palace doesn't change up things too much from the first. It has a slightly more interesting layout than the first, requires a bit more exploration to find all the keys. It's also another boss with the jump slash his head. Helmet Head. I feel like the thing really missing from all these dungeons is any sort of problem solving outside of combat. Between the lack of a map and the fact that the palaces are mostly glorified key hunts, it mostly feels like you wander around just hoping to find where you need to go next. Maybe they expected players to draw out maps of the dungeons, but I certainly was not going to do that. The Maze Palace is the first dungeon where you don't need a new spell to enter, but you do need a new spell to finish. If you somehow make it to the boss, Karak, without Reflect, you won't have any way to damage him. And if you do have it, he won't have a way to damage you, making it the worst boss fight. The third palace is again mostly more of the same. Wander around, find keys, open doors. I do like that the Island Palace has an outside courtyard area. It makes it feel like more of a real place. The dungeon introduces one of my least favorite enemies in the game, the sword-throwing Iron Knuckles. Dodging swords while trying to get an attack around their shield is just too much. The boss of the Island Palace is the most 80s ass enemy I've seen in a long time. Rebonak is an Iron Knuckle on a hover horse. I kinda like that he's a regular enemy that's just been given a bit extra, but after you knock him off his horse, the fight isn't much fun because of it. The Hidden Palace is the closest Adventure Link ever gets having a good dungeon. The exploration is close to being interesting. You have to navigate your way falling down holes to make your way through. Towards the end, you even have to catch yourself halfway through a fall with the fairy spell to continue forward. It's only good in relation to the rest of the palaces, though. Barba, the dragon boss of this dungeon, also isn't bad. He feels the most like a normal Zelda boss. You have to learn his pattern, dodge attacks, and then strike back. Instantly dying when you fall in the lava sucks, though. Before this year, I'd never beaten The Adventure of Link. It was always a game that I had wanted to beat, but I would only get a few dungeons into before getting annoyed and giving up. Now that I've seen the whole thing, I do think it's really only a few changes away from being a much better game. If the leveling mechanic was replaced with item upgrades that also gave your sword some extra range, I think it would alleviate a lot of the negative friction. The dungeon designs would still be lacking though.